I hit a big red button, and I don't know if this is recording. I also don't know how to edit, so that will be on this video. Yay! I'm Whitney Wilson. I am the Director of Operations slash Best Looking Volunteer for Beloved. And the other night, I took way too much cold medicine and was like, I should make videos. That's logical. But then I thought more about it, and I was like, it would be a cool medium to answer your questions, and you can see what some of our volunteers look like, and we'll include um, what we'll include little bits of information about ourselves as well. So I'm going to answer, I got a few really good questions. I'm going to answer two of them, and then I'm going to tell you just like three things about me so you know who I am as part of this organization, which is Becca's worst nightmare. So the first question is about human trafficking specifically. I'm going to be drinking water, tea during this, or I'll cough. Okay. What does human trafficking mean? Oh, there are multiple questions in this question. Is it really as big of a problem as people are saying? And who is affected? We will break it down. What does human trafficking mean? If you Google it, or you ask someone who knows a lot about it, or you've watched a documentary, you're going to know that, by definition, it is just the illegal movement of people. What does this look like? It looks like sexual exploitation, which is what Beloved's dealing with. It also looks like labor trafficking, so people move from place to place for construction or often in agriculture, coffee, rice, fruit, all of that, and organs. That's actually the red market, the trafficking of people's organs. So, yay, happy thoughts. Why are people trafficking people? Money. It costs about $90 to have a slave, and you can sell them over and over, and that makes the selling of people unique, because unlike drugs that can only be sold once, or weapons, these women and men and children can be sold literally over and over until as a resource they are exhausted. Is it is it as big of a problem as people are saying? Yes. Hold on. Opinions. So human trafficking is a huge buzzword right now, and I also feel like it is used for Christians to attract mates. Like, let me see if I can do this. Hey, blah blah blah, blah blah, human trafficking. What? You have such a heart for justice. I know, and I plan to go overseas. Have my babies. See, and it's like that, but it's a big problem. It's a really big problem. So knock it off using it to pick up people. 20 to 30 million people right now are being used as slaves in human trafficking. That number is most likely around the 29 million-ish area after the stats from last year. And yeah, it's growing. We have more slaves right now than there have ever been in history. So that alone should tell you how big of a deal it is. Who's being affected? Of the people being trafficked specifically, 80% are either women or minors, minors being people under 18. So you might hear that phrase a lot. The majority of women that Beloved is working with, they may be trafficked, but they're more likely victims of domestic violence, and these numbers are insanely high as well. I don't like numbers. The numbers don't let you know what it feels like to get hit. It doesn't let you know what being crouched over in an orchard for 48 hours at a time, feels like. It just doesn't make room for an individual. So a big part of Beloved is focusing solely on the individual rather than on the numbers, which I think is pretty fantastic. Okay, question number 2. So, how can those of us who have careers and families apart from this issue still do what we can, even on a small scale, to contribute to helping victims of human trafficking and putting a stop to this problem on a larger scale? I love this question. This gives everyone the opportunity to be creative, which is fun. So the first step before you do anything, inform yourself about what trafficking is like in your specific area. It looks different in Denver than it looked in Detroit, and it looks different on the West Coast than it did in Detroit, and different on the East Coast, and if you're overseas, it looks completely different. Learn what it looks like, read articles about operations the police have run, get informed. And then once you know what's happening, and I drink, then you use your strengths. So the person who asked me this question is a writer. Write about it. I personally spend a lot of time coping by writing poetry, and then letting people read it if you can, and it informs them. If you are an aspiring rapper like me, you can rap about it. We've had a ton of people knit stuff for us to give to women, and that's been amazing. They love it because it's individualized. It's fun to give out. One of our own volunteers, she refurbishes. This is why I took the cold medicine. Yikes. She refurbishes flowers, and we're able to give those out, which I really love, giving something living to someone living. So there you go. We also have heard there have been interior designers that go into police stations and ask if they can paint the rooms where women are held on prostitution charges, paint them warm colors, put new furniture in there, and the police are totally okay with it. It's really cool. Like, people want to help. It's really cool. So if you have a thing, figure out how you can use it here in this area. And I'm so sorry, gosh. Do you know I'm not in my own house? That makes this really weird. Okay. Okay, if you have like 14 kids and a full-time job and you're working on your memoir and you really don't have time to go pay a police department, use the information that you have. Fish from Thailand. It's most likely caught by boys who have enslaved on boats, so I no longer buy shrimp from Thailand. So you could do things like that. This was a big one for me, and it's been really hard. Any hotel chain that has adult pay-per-view that allows you to access pornography, technically a tiny, tiny percentage of what you're paying the hotel, they're paying for their pornography. So I will not go to hotels that have adult pay-per-view. So things like that, when they don't sound like much, if you take away the money, there's no market. So economics, woohoo! This is how I learned about economics. Okay, 3 things about me as a volunteer. Exciting. I didn't even think of 3 things before I started this. My first thing is that I regret not thinking about 3 things before recording this. And my second one is that I went to school for music theory, so you never know where you'll end up. Planning. Nah. I like math and music, so there you go. 3. Okay, so you know how people have things like, oh, that's Sam and he bakes when he's stressed, or That's Olivia, and she wears scarves even when it's 95 degrees, but she still never sweats. Yeah, so I decided I needed a thing this week, so I got a hat, which is why I'm wearing a hat, because I'm trying to decide about hats. But then people would be like, oh, Whitney, yeah, she does not ever clean her apartment, and she wears hats. So this is the first video. Hopefully we'll have more. This got really long. I'll try to keep it shorter. Hopefully we'll have someone else do it next time, and you can learn more about who they are. Take what you learn from this and ask more questions. I'd love to do this consistently, maybe weekly. Be a lot of fun. Let me know, and feel free to reach out to us through this Facebook page, through belovedoutreach@gmail.com. You can hit up Rebecca Cooper now, me, Whitney Wilson, and we can get your questions answered. We can get you hooked up with information to volunteer, let you know when trainings are happening. And if you have a skill that has not been brought to the table yet and you think you could use it for Beloved, please let me know. I really just want everyone to be able to use their gifts in a way that makes giving to these women fun for them. So I will see you later. I'm going to go get out of this house that isn't mine after I walk their dog.